Hi, I'm Randy Robison. This is Life Today TV. I'm talking to Mark Gungor, pastor of Celebration Church in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and author of a bunch of books, a bunch of good books. But we're talking about on Life Today this week, the Beatitudes of Marriage. Good to have you here, bro.
Good to be here.
Why marriage? Why are you addressing this topic?
Out of default, you know.
Nothing else is working out for you?
Yeah, couldn't find nothing else to do. No, the pastors are by default thrown into marriage counseling. And the vast majority of us are not trained in it at all. So
Is this a primer for other pastors who have to deal with things?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But I mean, they figure we tied the knot, so we should fix it. You know, it's the only thing I can figure. I have no idea. But most guys go through school. And what's strange about that is, I would say a huge chunk of pastors' times are actually spent in marriage counseling.
No doubt.
You'd think they would prepare them a bit more in school for this. But,
Yeah,
and maybe
yeah.
some schools are now, but
No doubt.
I know that my generation and most people probably don't get anything for it.
Do most pastors have a good marriage?
Well, I don't know if most do. I know a lot of them have bad ones.
'Cause, I mean, you travel, you go to churches, you're talking about marriage. I would think that you would be the guy that they might talk to when you're in town.
Nah, they don't talk to anybody. That's
that
one of
the
the
problem?
bummers of being a pastor. Your dad probably can tell you that whole world is, you learn not to trust them. It's terrible, isn't it? You learn not to trust anybody.
Well, because if something comes out that's devastating, you're
because
done.
they'll eat
Your
you
job's on the
alive.
line.
I know, and it's terrible. Christians ought to be able to share with each other their struggles. Sadly, if a Christian admits to another Christian that he's struggling with something, they'll hammer him. And if a pastor admits to a board leader or another pastor that he's struggling with, porn addictions or something like that, they will roast him alive. So as a result, they fall back into secrecy and silence, which virtually guarantees that sin will dominate him. The one thing that an addictive behavior needs is secrecy. And as long as we keep a secret, it's got the upper hand. So it's sad. No, I think it's very, very sad.
So on that note,
On that depressing note,
what do you struggle with in your marriage? Or what have you struggled with in your marriage?
we actually like each other. I mean, a lot of people's ministries are born out of misery or some tragedy or some horrible thing. That is not the case. We've always had a good marriage.
40 years?
Yeah, 40 years, yeah. Actually, it's been harder since I started trying to help other people's marriages. Just because of the traveling.
Yeah.
That just gets old after a while. Constantly on planes going here and there and
So
missing grandsons' birthdays, and she gets upset, and I'm trying to advance the kingdom, and so you get into fights and stuff.
Yeah, my dad was gone most of my childhood.
Yeah.
Now I can't get rid of him.
For the love of God, go away!
Don't tell him I said that. So give me kind of your basic advice. What maybe a couple of points that you would tell any guy that would just instantly make his marriage better?
Any guy. The crazy thing about the marriage thing is you can't just talk to one person. You got to talk to them both. You really do. Because anything I say is really dependent on the two of you hearing it together. I mean, you can tell the standard stuff, be nice, be considerate, be patient, all that's kind of like what I do in my book, all those bits of advice. But for couples really to help, a lot of people go, it's amazing how many people go for marriage counseling just by themselves.
Yeah.
Which is an exercise in futility.
Usually because the spouse sends them, right?
Whatever. I mean, they won't go. So they go by themselves, but you can't fix anything. Because people are full of baloney. You should hear the exaggerations, man. When they come and talk to me just by themselves, and then you get them both together, and it's a whole different ballgame. Man, I learned that a long time ago. I have had people, this one lady comes in, my husband cusses at me. He what? He curses. Seriously. So if I call him and bring him, he'll know that yes, absolutely. So I call him, I bring them both in, I sit down, he says, what's up? I said, she says, you cursed at him, at her. And he goes, I don't curse at you. She goes, well, you did several years ago one time. I was like, oh my gosh, the people are crazy. When you're with her just by herself, you're convinced the guy's like throwing blasphemies at her every other second, And so I have just learned, man, you cannot help them unless you have them both together. It's the two together, man, that's got to make it work. Now, having said that, there are a lot of people that have marriage, that have problems that are not marriage problems. Marriage problems are the most misdiagnosed problems in the world. For example, if your wife has self-esteem issues, it'll hurt your marriage.
Yeah.
But it's not a marriage problem. She's got a personal problem. Your husband's got a problem with alcohol. Well, we need marriage counseling. No, you don't. It's affecting your marriage, but it's not a marriage problem. Marriage problems, believe it or not, are the easiest problems in the world to fix. I can take two couples, they're at each other's throat, ready for divorce, and in 3 weeks, turn it completely around. Piece of cake. I love doing it. It's the easiest job on earth. But when you got personal issues, now we got a whole different ball game. Now that does need personal counseling, one-on-one counseling.
Yeah.
So you got someone who's been sexually abused, or someone's got a drug problem, or anger issues, or like, okay, yeah, it's affecting the marriage, but it's not a marriage problem. And people waste years going for marriage counseling. You think the marriage counselors will be sharper than this, going for counseling over something that's not a marriage problem. It's not a marriage problem. It's a personal problem. So from that standpoint, then that works, having just one go.
Gotcha. You use humor to make a lot of your points, right?
Yeah, do you know why?
No, I'm asking you why.
To make it male-friendly.
Really?
To make it man-friendly.
Yeah.
Men hate going to marriage seminars.
Yeah.
It's the toughest sell. What I do is a tough sell. Oh, it's like trying to sell, you're trying to get people to go to a marriage seminar?
Yeah.
It's like trying to sell tickets to a rectal exam, man. Nobody wants to go to that. Nobody wants to check it out. It's hard. I'm telling you, some of the biggest churches in the country will have me come in, and they'll struggle to get hundreds of people there. And it's not because of me or anything. The churches are stunned. You just have no idea the resistance. But a lot of it is because of so many people have been to marriage conferences that are horrifying. It's terrible. It's boring. It's litigious. You got to take notes.
Do you have the little exercises that go with them too?
No, good Lord. I said all that stuff, breakout sessions and stuff.
Right.
All that's hell for any man.
Sure.
So I have the man-friendly seminar. There's no notes to take. There's no emotional breakout sessions. You never have to share your feelings with anybody. It's the perfect seminar for men because you don't have to do anything. Just laugh, listen, and learn.
Yeah.
And men light up. And here's the crazy thing about it. Because when you connect something with emotion, you remember it.
Yeah.
And laughter is an emotion. So I have couples who have been to my seminar 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they can still rattle off to this day all the major points of what I talked about because they were laughing when they learned. The other nice thing about laughter is that it helps people's resistance come down. So if you've ever been to my seminar, I talk about real serious stuff.
Yeah, no, I've been.
I'll make them laugh and I'll smack them upside the head. And I'll make them laugh and I'll smack them upside. I'm one of the meanest preachers in the world, man. If you ever go listen to me, but you will laugh your head off, even though I'm smacking you as hard as I can, because it makes it palatable. It's the sugar with the medicine kind of thing.
So you're very purposeful about that. It's not just
Very
some comedy
purposeful.
routine you like to deliver.
And it's, I'm not really telling jokes. If you listen to my thing, it's really not jokes. There's people who tell jokes. I might have a few. I probably got 3 or 4 jokes in my whole deal, but the whole thing, people are laughing hysterically. I'm just talking about life and telling actual stories.
Yeah.
And everybody relates to it because we all relate to the struggles.
Right. Good stuff. Somebody wants to invite you to their church or check out your books, any of your books. What's your website?
Well, you can go to markgungor.com.
Got it.
And that'll point you to everything, or specifically the marriage seminar to laughyourway.com.
To Laugh Your Way
and
to a Better Marriage is the rest of the
Laugh Your Way
page,
to a Better Marriage is the name of the book and the seminar. So, but laughyourway.com is where we have that. And
Awesome. Are you still taking invitations, or are you booked solid for?
I'm booked about a year in advance. So we're, we're about a year. Well, actually, right now about a year and a quarter out. So sign up now.
Yeah, sign up now.
But we love doing it, and it's great fun. We travel all over the world doing it.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing about the men's seminar, about making it men-friendly. One of the things I try to do is I try to validate the male perspective. Because too many marriage seminars, it's all from the female's point of view. If you go and, you get the picture that if a guy would just be more like a woman, he'd have a successful marriage. Well, it's a disaster for formula. First of all, he's never going to do it. A guy's never going to be like a woman. For a guy to be more sensitive and more in touch with his emotions and go shopping and all this other kind of stuff and talk for 5 hours a night, it's never going to happen. And we're never going to help marriages if we keep packaging this for a female audience. We've got to make this broader. Even a lot of marriage materials, if you look at it. It's real fluffy pictures and, always the foo-foo, and the books are this thick, because women love words. Women just love words.
They don't know how to use them half the time.
Yeah, they don't know how to use them half the time, but they love the words.
Yeah.
Whereas guys, keep it simple. So I try to keep it, I got the, McDonald's version of marriage help. Basic, to the point, this is simple. And I actually spend more time trying to get women to understand men. And they love it. And guys love it because they feel validated now.
Sure.
Instead, all these guys spend all this time trying to get men to understand women and exercise in futility. A guy will never understand a woman. Most women can't understand other women, for heaven's sakes. So what I do is I take the simple road. This is the world of men. This is why we do what we do. This is why we think we are not broke, sick, and disgusted perverts. We're just men. And God made us this way for a reason and on purpose, and that's what I show them.
Great. Check it out. Check out his website. And if you want to hear from more from Mark Gungor, more from the Beatitudes of marriage, be sure to check out lifetoday.org. This television program where he's on Live Today is available there right now. Thanks again for being with us.
Thank you, man.